He's going to videotape us. Okay?
Oh, yeah?
Right there.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so this is from Amanda, and she says, I would like to learn more about you. What are some events that you've been through? Some events that you've been through.
How many what?
Like, what are some things that have happened to you? Like, some events. Like, what was, like, your best memory ever?
Well, I've had so many memories.
What about history? Like, a famous historical thing that happened that you remember? Like, maybe, like, when Martin Luther King Jr. died or anything like that? Do you remember any, like, a famous, when John F. Kennedy was shot or, like, anything like...
No, Al Capone. You remember Al Capone, don't you?
Huh?
Al Capone. Do you remember anything from history that really was important to you?
I was living in Chicago at the time.
Of when? When Al Capone?
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Right. Either I was living there or Ernie was still living there and told me all about it. I think I was still there.
Yeah.
But he got to know him through the newspaper and the radio and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He was nobody you was proud of knowing.
No, you don't want to know him.
Maybe an invention, I think.
What about an invention that you remember having, like maybe when you were a little girl, like first TV, or when? Do you remember any inventions that your parents got?
Well, I remember the first TV we had.
How old were you?
Oh, I was in my early 20s, I'd say.
Okay.
We still lived there on Whole Street. And Edith, remember that guy that she went with called Guy Wilbur? He had a furniture store.
Right.
And he gave her our first TV.
Was it black and white?
Oh, yeah.
How many channels could you get? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
I can't
Maybe
remember.
3 or 4?
Probably
channels?
not over 3 or 4.
What was your favorite show to watch?
I don't know. I can't remember. Probably a soap opera.
Soap opera. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's see what this one says.
Oh.
This is from Jack. He likes the Buckeyes. He wanted to know if you were a Buckeye fan.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, you like the Buckeyes? Who's your favorite Ohio State football coach ever?
Ever?
Ever.
You know who that
I
is.
think I do. Who is it?
Jim Trestle.
Jim Trestle. That's what I thought you were going to say.
Pictures on the front page.
Yeah.
That's a good picture.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at that.
He's been on the front page every day this week.
Right, because he's going to be, what's he doing up here? He's doing something up here, right? Jim Trestle?
He's going to be president of Youngstown
That's right.
University.
Young State University. That's right.
And there's a great big
That's a great
thing in the paper about this big. Some friends of his, Jim and Ellen, congratulating them on moving back to Youngstown.
To Youngstown. Well, they're happy to get.
Oh, he's really had the whole town sewed up on him.
Did you see this one from Jameson? It says running the marathon. Did you see this one? Running the marathon of life. Like, you know what a marathon is? When runners go out and run like 26 miles.
Yeah.
So she's kind of comparing you to running a long marathon of life.
Oh.
That's why you're wearing a medal.
That's a good comparison.
Yeah. Did you ever exercise when you were younger? Did you exercise? Never.
No.
You just were blessed with this body.
I
Huh?
didn't swim. I was scared to death of water.
Yeah.
I still am. I was baptized though.
Okay, that's good.
My father baptized me in the Ohio River.
Oh, gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Did you ever ride a bike?
Huh?
Did you ever ride a bike?
Very little. Because some of the boys, I had 2 brothers, one of them always had a bike.
Yeah.
Ethel, tell Donna about how you used to go to school riding in a cart across. Didn't you go across a cemetery or something? How'd you get to school?
We lived right at the entrance of one of the big cemeteries.
Okay.
In a great big house. And the schoolmaster, I was only 6. He would come by every morning. He lived a little ways over. And pick me up in a horse and buggy.
Oh, horse and buggy.
Yes,
Wow.
a horse and buggy. And take me to school. And before the day was out, many days, he'd have to call my mother to come and get me.
Why?
I was so disturbed about
Oh.
going,
You were sad.
and I wasn't doing any good at school. But I finally got over that. But I went 1 year, and that that little schoolhouse is still there.
In
At
Ashland?
least it was the last time not too many years
Yeah.
ago. A little red brick schoolhouse just sat kind of up on a knoll.
Right. And you were all the grades all in one class, right?
1 through 8,
1 through 8. You
Yeah.
had one teacher.
one
Right.
teacher, Mr. Mead, and he was crippled.
Mm.
He had to walk with crutches,
Mm-hmm.
but he drove that horse and buggy
Okay.
to the school every
Yeah.
day.
What was your favorite subject in school?
Spelling.
Spelling. Okay. My boys and girls always want to know, what was your first car? Do you remember the first car that you drove or owned?
Ford,
A Ford?
when the Fords first came out.
Okay.
I was the first one in our family that drove. My father didn't drive. My brother wasn't old enough
Okay.
because I was the
Do
oldest.
you remember what kind of car it was?
No.
Just a Ford?
Oh, well, I don't remember that one, but I know we had a four-door.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the second car. I don't remember.
Okay. Fun.
But I learned to drive where we lived there on Holt Street.
Uh-huh.
That next lot next to us where Klinger lived, I learned to drive on that lot.
Oh.
There was no house or nothing on it. It was right next door.
Yeah.
We owned several houses along there. But I would pull forward and then I would back up. And all the neighbors would watch me. And they said, you can back up better than you can go forward.
And probably not everybody had cars, right? I
No,
mean, that was a special
no,
thing to have a
they
car.
They sure didn't.
Yeah.
What year did you graduate from high school? Do you remember?
I didn't graduate. I would have graduated in 26.
1926.
I've
Yeah.
got a. You'll have to go through my gallery there with all
Yeah.
my. I got a
Go up on the
certificate
wall
not
there.
too long ago from the school getting me
Oh.
certificate
Okay.
of graduation.
These boys and girls will graduate from high school in the year 2022.
Wow.
2022. It's almost 100 years after
After
Oh,
you.
my
almost
goodness.
100
Oh,
years.
I was the class of 26.
Yeah. Okay. Did you know this little girl Anna? She put you on the Smucker's jar. On the Today. Were you ever on the Today Show for the Smucker's jar when you turned
No.
100?
Yeah,
No?
when you turned 100, you were, remember?
Huh?
You were on it when you turned 100. What's his name on there? The guy?
Does he still do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he still does it. You know, on the Today Show,
Well-
that guy that always tells who's 100.
Yeah.
You were on there. You were
You were
on
on
there
the
when you
Today
were
Show.
100.
I didn't see that, but
But
I
you never saw it. Oh.
everybody, different ones did see it.
Yeah,
you
you
know.
were on
What's his
there. Yeah.
Roker, was that his
No,
name?
Al
that's the
Roker.
weatherman.
Oh.
It's the old.
I can just see him, kind of a heavy set.
Yeah.
B.
What is
Yeah.
Oh, we should know that.
I'll think of it here in a minute. I know. Let's see. Is this? Yeah. So this one's from Xavier, and he says you read these already. I know you read them a bunch. She's already read them 3 times. But this says you should feel accomplished. There aren't many people who can say they're 105. You must have learned a lot of lessons. Maybe you could mail and tell me some. Anyway, have a great 105th. So do you have any advice for my 4th graders?
Oh my
Any
goodness.
lessons you want to share about life?
Be nice to your teacher.
Yes.
That's the best one.
Perfect.
Okay.
Willard Scott.
Willard Scott.
I never did like school.
You
Thank
didn't
God
like
for
school.
Google.
No, I did not.
What's that?
Thank God.
Because I was into music.
Oh,
I
okay.
started piano lessons at 7.
Wow. Okay.
But of course I went right on to school. But I always admired all my teachers.
Yeah. That's good.
And my music teacher lived over on Moore Street. Now, I had her name and I've lost it. But anyway, what was her name? I walked from where he lived down that short street and right there. She was right at that entrance of Moore.
So how old did you say you were when you started playing the piano?
7.
7? 7?
I started at 7. My father ordered me a piano And it was always known that that was my piano. My other sister thought it was hers too. But he ordered us a piano from the Adler Company in Louisville.
Okay. Wow. Do you still have it somewhere? The piano? Do you know where that piano went?
Well, the last I heard, Joy, I think, had it.
Oh yeah, they still have it. I think.
Oh.
Yeah,
Where?
I think they do, or at least they did for quite a while.
I don't know that she still has it, but she
Yeah.
did have
She
it.
she lives in an apartment now, so I bet she doesn't have it.
No,
anymore.
well,
Aaron?
when they lived in Ashland, they lived over on, well, you know where they lived. And then it was given to her then, and she started studying.
Yeah, and then when we moved to Youngstown, and Joy and I
Yeah,
both
and
took
they-
lessons.
She painted that piano blue.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh.
Yeah, my piano.
Well, you must like blue. You're wearing blue.
Yeah, I remember they painted it blue. I
Yeah.
didn't know that was yours though. And my mom had it painted it blue.
Is
And
that the one
then-
that ended up in our?
Yeah, and your mom had it after I.
Yeah,
That was blue.
yeah. I think it ended up in our house, but then
I started teaching piano, but I
It's not
did
written
not.
up.
It's all my
I
fault.
did not like it.
Didn't like it.
Well, beginners in anything is hard to get through to.
Right. Right.
School or no matter what.
Yeah.
And I was teaching beginners,
Yeah.
and I didn't have the patience.
Yeah. Yeah.
My patience would wear out before I get the class over with. I had two sisters, two little girls. I said the class, and that was part of a class.
Mhm.
But I didn't like it, so I didn't teach for about 2 or 3 years.
Mhm.
And I had some of the kids on the street that came in where I lived
Yeah.
and took. And all of my family,
Learned.
my 2 brothers, and well, Maxine didn't, she wasn't there then. But they all took piano a short time, but none of them really. Now, Tack was the only one that I thought would really had something that he should train.
I never remember him playing at all.
He took lessons from me.
Oh.
So you
You
learned
were
something new.
little. How many years between you?
Well, my dad, Tack, Talmadge, your brother.
I'm mixed up.
Yeah, he was my dad. And then
He wasn't your brother.
No, he was my
He
dad.
was your
I know
dad.
that.
You're
I get
talking
mixed
about
up
John. You're talking about John?
No, I'm talking about
too.
Talmadge.
My dad.
Oh.
But I
okay.
just got confused that
Yeah,
I had in my mind they were brother and sister,
Yeah.
but
Oh.
they
Yeah.
weren't.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah, I do that sometimes.
Sometimes my mind plays tricks on me.
Well, after 105 years, I can see why.
Oh dear. Well, I never in my wildest dreams ever thought I'd live to be this old.
Yeah. That's great, though.
And I don't know why I am.
Yeah. Because you said you didn't exercise, but do you try to eat healthy or you just eat whatever you want?
Yeah. Well, mother always fed us healthy. I mean,
Yeah. But
she
you like
was-
your Cheetos.
She, yeah. She wouldn't allow that.
You
I
didn't
don't
eat that
know.
when you were growing